Welcome back. So let's talk to the national chairman of the Young Progressives Party, Bishop Amakiri, joining us from our Abuja studios. Bishop, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Good morning, my brother.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Okay. Let me start on a rather funny note. It's quite interesting that when it comes to build up to elections, we really don't see so much of the quote-unquote smaller parties or the parties that don't have the numbers of the big boys moving in that sense, with a greater sense of respect to your party. But we see these movements around the APC, the PDP, the Labour Party, and all that. Even the NNPP has joined the fray, because I know that Solomon Cow, I understand he has defected. I think officially will be defecting on the floor. Everybody who is about to defect in that, who has defected in that sense. So tell us what it is about you and your members choosing to stay where you are and staying in the opposition and not joining the fray.
Yeah, thank you so much, my dear brother. Good morning to all of you there. Well, you know, the truth of the matter is that around the political space, you can't take away people living one place to the other. But in this context, I would say there are two things that I would say you find around the political space. Number one, you know, this defection thing people have been talking about, what I call it is political interest defection. And the other one is people's interest projection. Now, those who actually push the agenda of, you know, political interest defection are those who always think about the next election and not the next generation. The next election in the sense that they prioritize politics than governance. And so that's the reason why people don't find it comfortable when they are in a place where, you know, they cannot continue to push further the agenda of their political agenda. In the YPP, I won't tell you that some persons have not left YPP or even YPP have not actually also, you know, welcomed some other new members into the party. You know, politics is about, you know, interests. The moment some people, their interest actually does not resonate with the interests of where they find themselves, they're most likely, you know, to shift to another place where maybe that other place will serve their own interest. So we in the YPP, we believe in staying, you know, steadfast, building an institution that will bring about, you know, new breed of leaders and politicians without greed that will champion the cause of leadership and governance today in Nigeria. And that's why some of us, especially the founding fathers of this party, up till date, are still intact in Young Progressives Party, trying to see how we can nurture this party, trying to see how we can build this party, and of course, continue to, you know, preach the gospel of leadership and governance today in our country. Because the country is faced actually with leadership quagmire. And I think that we should not allow the whole process in the hands of politicians alone. I think that the citizens also have a role to play, you know, in this journey. Stabilizing our political journey or our democratic journey is a multi-stakeholder obligation of all of us. It's not just only the politicians. So I will continue to advise that the citizens do wake up from their slumber. And, you know, of course, any person in this country today knows what is going on today. You know, everybody is feeling the heat. We are, you know, when a country is being hijacked by, you know, kakistocrats and plutocrats, you know, there is nothing that you can get out of it. And the people who are saddled with the responsibility of righting these wrongs are actually the citizens, because the citizens are the ones, you know, paying the price every day. Inflation, name it, all the things that we are faced with today. It is some persons who have cost us all this. And it is not that these people, are more numerical than the people who employ them into office. So I think that we just need to wake up from our slumber and look at what we can do about these things, because the situation is really deteriorating every day, day by day. And when I said the system has been hijacked by kakistocrats and plutocrats, I have my reason of why I'm saying so. A situation where you have great number of incompetent people leading almost how many? Almost over 200 million of Nigerians. Okay, and we are not getting to where we desire to be. Tell me today, what can we say today that is working as we speak in this country?
Oh, Mr. Amakiri.
When our children are out of school, poverty, day by day, people are lavishing in poverty.
Well, Mr. Amakiri,
and we are not addressing. These are very fundamental issues that I think our leaders should prioritize.
Indeed, they are. And as you said, we've had members from your party move into other parties. If you can hear me, Mr. Amakiri. You said earlier on, you confirmed that we had people from your party move into other parties.
Yes, I think at some point I lost the signal. But
that's no worries about that. So we've had members of your party move to the APC, ABGA, and all of that. So perhaps they're part of what you've described as a plutocracy and kakistocracy. But, I want you to speak to an issue, because what we're really faced with right now, as you said.
No, when I say plutocrats and kakistocrats, you can't ascribe that to us, because I don't think Young Progressive Party has been given any...
No, I'm referring to the people who moved from your party. I'm referring to the people who moved from your party to either the party in leadership at the national level or at the state level, like Anambra State. That's what I'm referring to, the people who left your party, as you agreed with earlier. But that's not even my question. My question is this. For the Nigerian people who pre-2015, and it's important to track history, so we understand how we got here. Pre-2015, there was a lot of support for the opposition then, groundswell support for the APC then, because for a lot of people, they were tired of the party in power, the PDP, and the APC looked promising. In fact, that promise was like El Dorado. It was like heaven for a lot of people. So they went through that process. You had people who had never been political. They joined political parties, the opposition then, just to get the ruling party out of power. And that happened, and we're where we are today. And I don't even want to get deep into that one. But the question is this. The people may appear jaded, because they've gone through this. They wonder, opposition never really works. It's when they taste power that they start to find their way around, and then they completely make a mess of things. So what kind of message would you be bringing to the Nigerian people as an opposition party for them to have hope, and I'll use renewed hope in opposition, yet again, after what they have gone through in the past? Do you have any new message for them, Mr. Amakiri?
Yeah, Kyrie, thank you so much. You see, there's nothing wrong in people continuing to try, something, hoping that someday it's going to be corrected. People make mistakes. In our daily lives, we make mistakes. If there are no mistakes, there cannot be correction, okay? And if there are no problems, there cannot be solutions. So the fact that we make mistakes does not mean, it is over. No. The people have made previous mistakes. Yes, let's agree that that was a mistake. But the good thing is that there is always another chance. The chances do come. When are these chances? During electioneering season. Those are the most critical time that people should actually have an introspect to themselves and now do a comparative analysis as to whether have they enjoyed these promises that these people made to them, or is it commensurate? What they're having today, is it commensurate with what the people have promised them? So the people, I keep saying that the people have a choice. They are critical stakeholders. If you look at the number of these elective persons, they are just a very small number out of these number that I've mentioned before out of how many million population, and you think that put together all the numbers of the elective positions in Nigeria, I don't think they are up to 2,000 persons. Maybe if you have 109 national senators, you have 360 as of rep, put together 400 and something. You have 36 governors, and you have the president and the vice president. You put these numbers together, are they up to 1,000? They are not up to 1,000. And now the people who go to vote these people in are in their millions. You know, so what it means is that the people who vote them in have more power than they do. Because it's when you employ somebody that the person can assume office. Okay? So I am saying going forward that the people need to really wake up from their slumber. I don't think that Nigerians deserve what it's getting today as in terms of leadership. And we can't continue to, you know, cast aspersions or to criticize when we have the opportunity to do the right thing. You know, you just mentioned 2015, build up to 2015 election. The APC came with the slogan of change. People were not even ready to interrogate at that time. You know, like you rightly say, because people were so desperate for a change. That was what you say. But if you even look at the scenario that played at that time, was it really true that people really wanted a change, or some persons actually pushed a narrative, giving, you know, somebody a bad name, all just in the name that they really wanted to take out somebody and bring in somebody? And that's why I said a system has been hijacked, you know, by kakistocrats and plutocrats, government of the wealthy, government of the incompetent. Now the people have the opportunity at every given time to right their wrongs. That the fact that people have made mistakes before does not mean that they should continue making the mistakes. So I throw this challenge back to the people, and not even the electorate, not even the politicians of my class. You know, if a YPP, for example, has been given an opportunity and they are not doing the right thing, the people should vote YPP out. If APC or PDP has been given opportunity for almost how many years that we have returned to this democracy, can we say, Kayode, even you yourself, let's be realistic to ourselves, in all honesty, can you say today Nigeria is on the right track? And this problem actually did not even start from the Tinubu era. I'm saying even from the days that we returned to democracy, okay, what can we say the PDP itself has done for Nigeria? Maybe you can have a little bit of fresh air that time, not fresh air, let me say, because if we are to compare during the times of the PDP, and, you know, I've never been a category member of PDP anyway, but Mr. Amakiri, if we are to even compare, yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing that you acknowledged earlier that, you know, some members of your party are also defecting to, you know, other political parties. And there is real concern in that regard, particularly amid, you know, what seems to be a celebration of leaders of the APC, that the National Assembly, the upper chamber to be specific, is now nearly dominated by the All Progressives Congress. And one wonders what impact that will have on legislation and policy under this administration. We don't even know if your own plans to replace the late Senator Ifeanyi, God rest his soul, will be successful if it would not go to APGA or the APC. But we'll look at that much later on. You criticize this defection as, you know, an emergence of kakistocrats and plutocrats popularized by a senator of, ironically, of the APC. But your candidate for the governorship election in Anambra State is said to be a former auditor of the All Progressives Congress who has defected to your party, and your party has welcomed that candidate. Are you not part of the problem? And what has been responsible for this exchange, you know, for the defection to your party in order to secure the ticket of your party for the governorship election in Anambra State in 2025?
Thank you. A very interesting question. I like that question. But I need to let you know, that's why I, even from my start, of the conversation. I told you there are two types of defection. First is political interest defection, and the other one is people's interest projection. The defection you just mentioned, our candidate now in Anambra election, yes, his history is from APC. But the question you need to ask is, has he ever been any elective? I'm talking about in terms of governance. Has he ever been an elective person, whether as a governor or even as a House of Assembly member or rep or a president? And the answer is no. So you can't judge it from that perspective. Now, without prejudice to also the Constitution of Nigeria that gives people the right of freedom of association, and participation. People have the right to move to everywhere. And I can give you an example. Even as we speak today, in this, your studio, your Channels TV, we have had people who have left this Channels TV working in another...
Mr. Amakiri, is not a problem that Mr. Chukwuma has worked for the kakistocrats and plutocrats. It's not a problem for your party.
No. Mr. Chukwuma was not working for kakistocrats. Mr. Chukwuma was pursuing his ambition. Because how can you know a kakistocrat or a plutocrat? You can't assess a student without engaging that student in an examination. So he has been there, and he has seen that, no, that place is not a place he wants to continue to serve his people. Go back to Anambra and ask about Paul Chukwuma, what he has done to his people at the grassroots. And when he has come to conclusion that, what I wanted to do was to have a seat of power that I can advance further, for my people, what my people desire in terms of governance. And the party denied him that opportunity.
Mr. Amakiri.
So, and that's the beauty of a multi-party system.
Mr. Amakiri.
When Ifeanyi Uba, I'm coming, I want to take you somewhere. When Ifeanyi Uba was in YPP, go to Anambra South senatorial district and see what Ifeanyi Uba was doing for the people of Anambra South. Don't forget, Ifeanyi Uba came from ABGA. He was in PDP. He was also in ABGA. In fact, he started from Labour, and then PDP, and later on ABGA, and then YPP. Okay? But whilst he was in those parties, he was not able, to ascend to any political office until when YPP gave him that grace, that political grace, and he became a senator under YPP. And the records are there. Go and see what Ifeanyi Uba did in Anambra South Senatorial, district.
All right, Mr. Amakiri, just a moment. Mr. Amakiri, so let's talk about let's talk about the general state of the opposition political parties as it is. So first question will be, are you in talks with this whole idea of the coalition in that sense? And how far are you willing to go as a political party? Because I did listen to a few persons, and they're saying, look, and it's almost impossible not to agree with them, that if there's any chance of unseating Bola Tinubu for those who want him out, coalition is the best way to go. Because look at the state of the PDP, for instance, look at the state of the Labour Party, and then we can go on and on with other political parties. So is that the right direction to go? Because from what you say, apparently, you're not satisfied, just like a lot of Nigerians look at the state of the nation and say, this is not the renewed hope they are looking at because things are tougher and some people want him out. So are you talking to that coalition group, and what's the end game for you?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I think that the coalition you're talking about is an holistic coalition. So I tilt more towards the downtrodden coalition. I'm more interested when the downtrodden have decided, and that's why we prefer to talk more with the grassroots, people, because they are the real people who the power is vested on to do the real change that this country desires. So the holistic coalition might not, yes, they have started provoking the conversation of such coalition. But I am not too more into that kind of concept, because the one that, you know, they introduced to us 2015, right? It didn't, where has it taken us to today? It has not yielded any positive result, because 2015 was a coalition of the elites also, where some persons left one party and almost bring the party to her knees. And this is the result of what we are getting today, okay? So I think the coalition, for me, that I'm more interested on, and the people, Nigerians should be more interested in, is the people's coalition. That's why I said, now it is important we begin to engage the people, maybe political literacy, conscientization, so that we can reawaken the consciences of people as to, going forward, the kind of people have to, you know, beam their searchlight on when they are making their choices. Political parties that have failed in terms of leadership recruitment process should be punished, okay? And that is the reason why in a multi-party system, we have a country that has about 19 political parties, right?
Mr. Amakiri, my apologies.
19 political parties, or whatever.
Just a moment. What you're saying sounds great, but it sounds more idealistic than reality. Don't you think so? This is an institution, a formidable institution that even the next biggest political party is now a place like Delta State, literally uprooting its entire structure and handing it over on a platter of gold to APC. And that is how far they are going to make sure that Bola Tinubu, the president, is re-elected. And so that's what I'm asking, are you being realistic here in that sense?
Yes. Yes, I'm being realistic. And I stand on my position that it is possible to actually uproot a system that has underperformed and is not working. The people at every given time are the ones that will take such decision. This structure you talk about, is it not human beings that are the structures? Now, let me also tell you, Geoffrey, there is no political party today in Nigeria that has the numerical strength to actually vote a candidate into power. Tell me, how many numbers are they? Which political parties have up to, let's say, 8 million? Is it President Bola Tinubu's voting number? All the people that voted for President Bola Tinubu, you know, are they APC members? So that's why I keep saying that I think what we should begin to, the conversation we should bring on the table now is how we can begin to engage our citizens. I just mentioned about political conscientization. We just need to begin, and it is the duty of all of us. I just said this conversation or this uphill task is a multi-stakeholder obligation of all of us, including you, the media house. We have to conscientize our people. If politicians have actually taken our people for granted, maybe the docility of our people or gullibility of our people, these politicians are continuing to take advantage of it and to continue to do their things the way they want it. And I'm saying repeatedly that we need to begin to punish them during electioneering seasons. For example, I see no reason why somebody cannot reject any inducement, any form of inducement, of monetary inducement or whatever inducement, and say to that person, no, we are not taking your money. We are not taking your rice you are bringing to us. We are not taking all these groceries that they go sharing during electioneering seasons. Those things are inducement, and it is a deliberate thing, because they know that they have weaponized hunger in this country, and they know, look, in some part of this country, I will not need to mention names, but I am aware that there are some parts of this country that you go, and some governors go back. What they do, they will be sharing money, and the people will be following them. You know, stampedes everywhere, people falling down, scrambling for how to, you know, get hold of 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira. Those things is crazy.
Okay.
You know, I think Nigeria should wake up and begin to have a more critical analysis in governance who have, look, why should somebody even come to be inducing you during electioneering season?
Right,
let the performance of that person be a yardstick for a re-election bid.
All right, Bishop.
These are the things.
Yeah, great points you've made, and we've noted this point. I'm sure the audience has also noted that. We must thank you for coming on the program. As a matter of fact, in the next few days, it's going to be the month of May. Is it a few days now? Is it not few? Maybe 24 hours or 48 hours. Tomorrow is the month of May. Yes, I just got that correction. So tomorrow is May, and that's going to be exactly the midterm of the administration of Bola Tinubu, the president, as well as every other person who was voted in 2023. We must thank you so much, the national chairman of the YPP, Bishop Amakiri, for joining us on the program. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you, as always. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll switch gears to another part of the conversation. Join us in just a moment. We'll be right back.